Welcome to Who is Right, the show where we tackle the toughest questions of our time. Today's debate: is it wrong to eat meat in a modern society? Joining us are Mark and Sarah, two insightful debaters ready to tackle today's controversial topic. Let's dig in ethically, of course.
Thank you, Robi. In modern society, eating meat is not just unnecessary, it's unethical. Consider this. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization reports that animal agriculture is responsible for 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, more than the transportation sector. In addition to environmental harm, there's the issue of animal welfare. Millions of animals are subjected to cruel and inhumane conditions in factory farms. With advancements in plant-based and lab-grown meat, we no longer need to rely on traditional meat consumption for protein or taste.
Strong points, Mark. You're suggesting that technology and ethics should guide our diets. Sarah, how do you respond to these concerns?
Thanks, Robi. While I agree that animal agriculture has environmental challenges, let's not forget the historical and biological context. Humans evolved as omnivores, and meat has been a vital source of nutrients like B12 and iron. These nutrients are harder to obtain from plant-based diets without supplementation. Moreover, ethical farming practices are improving. Regenerative agriculture, for instance, can reduce environmental harm and even restore ecosystems. The solution isn't eliminating meat, it's producing it responsibly. Studies from the University of Oxford suggest that grass-fed livestock can be part of sustainable food systems.
Interesting, Sarah. So you're advocating for responsible consumption rather than elimination. Mark, what's your take on this approach?
Sarah, while I respect the idea of ethical farming, the reality is that over 90% of meat consumed comes from industrialized systems, not regenerative farms. The environmental impact of meat production isn't just about emissions, it's about land use. A study from Science magazine showed that plant-based diets require far less land and water compared to meat-heavy diets.
That's fair, Mark, but the economic implications of a meat-free society can't be ignored. Billions of people worldwide rely on livestock for their livelihoods. Transitioning away from meat entirely would devastate rural economies. Instead, we should focus on innovations like methane-reducing feed additives to minimize emissions while preserving traditions and jobs.
Both of you make compelling arguments. This brings us to a deeper question. Can personal choices coexist with global responsibility?
Eating meat in a modern society isn't just a personal choice. It has global consequences. From the suffering of animals to the environmental toll, the evidence overwhelmingly suggests we need to move away from meat consumption for the sake of our planet and future generations.
While the current meat industry has flaws, eliminating meat entirely oversimplifies the issue. By improving farming practices and embracing responsible consumption, we can balance tradition, health, and environmental needs.
Another heated debate on a controversial topic. Should modern society move away from eating meat, or can we strike a balance through sustainable practices? Now, it's your turn to decide. Who is right? Let us know in the comments.